in the third part of my Why Abortion Should Be Legal series, I'm going to talk about the most extreme cases and how abortion should be legal for those and the limits on those. And some of the more fringe things and why we need to talk about abortion as a society and not just build up walls. I'm Garnet, the Inquisitive Veteran, and let's get started. So, it's been a few days since the last time I did a video, and it's because I had to do some research. And I couldn't turn up a lot about a link between, cases of incest, pedophilia, and rape, and how women choose to get abortions when it comes to those. I only really found one study, and it cited 70 to 80% of women don't get abortions in the case of rape, and I couldn't find anything on pedophilia. And the only thing I found on incest is it kind of got lumped in with rape as one of the reasons that women get abortions. Rape, incest, and pedophilia only make up about 1% altogether of abortion cases. So, for those individual situations, abortion should be legal. And in my personal view, up until the end of the second trimester. And I know in my first video I talked about, it should only be the first 12, 13 weeks. But these are a little bit different. Especially in the case of rape, I can understand why a woman would be traumatized. And she needs time. And unfortunately, for her, that's not something in, steady supply where you can go to Walmart and buy it. I think up until about the end of the second trimester, she should have, at that point, either decided that she wants an abortion or that, she's going to give the child up for adoption or keep it. And that's totally up to her. I mean, I don't have the right to tell someone how they dictate, how they live their lives. But after the end of the second trimester, that's just too late. And that's more traumatic. And in a situation like that, you don't need more trauma. For incest and pedophilia, I'm going to lump those together because that's generally where you're going to see that. Most pedophilic relationships are with someone close to the child, usually an uncle or, a brother or a father figure or a grandfather. That's usually what you hear about. It's rare to hear it on the other side, but that's because a lot of those cases don't get reported. Because who's going to believe a guy was molested by, his aunt? But that's a video for a different time. And in those cases, that one's tricky, and that's something that I want to hear people's opinions on, because I really don't know what to say. Because, especially if they're young, since it is pedophilia, that's kind of a bad situation all around. Not kind of, it is a bad situation. Sorry for misspeaking on that, but it is a bad situation all the way around. And you've got a young person who's been traumatized, and they need to be given counseling. And I don't know the best answer for that. I really don't. And that's why I need to hear other people's opinions, because I'm of the opinion they need to be given secular counseling, nothing with a religious leaning to it, so they can make a decision on their own. Now, if them giving birth would cause the unborn child to die, I say go ahead with the abortion, or cause the mother to die, go ahead with an abortion. But I can't make that decision, and that's a bad situation. That's very delicate, and that's something that we need to discuss as a society. And the other part of it is, and you don't ever really hear about this in the news. It's not ever really broadcast, but when women will steal a man's, genetic material, one might say. In fact, that's something else I came across. It's kind of mind-blowing because I was looking up sexual assault for this, and it turns out it's a bit more common than I thought it was. I mean, I want to hear if anyone else has even heard of this, where women would save their partner's sperm. So all precautions have been taken, but the woman turns around and saves, the sperm and impregnates herself with it, either with in vitro fertilization or the turkey baster method, as it so elegantly put. So in that case, does the man get to decide? Like, if he finds out that the woman got pregnant, and he took every precaution, does he get to decide if she carries it to term? Because half the genetic material is his. And that, I know it seems rather unbelievable that would happen. And, those cases are so rare. But speaking from personal experience, I dated a girl when I was in high school. And the last time her and I had a sexual encounter, I was young and dumb, didn't fully understand the use of a condom. And right when things were reaching their point of completion, she pushed herself down on me and refused to get up. And that caused a whole series of problems. Her stepmother actually talked her out of getting the Plan B pill. But because she'd been given bad science, which goes back to my video on science, education here in America. And, in that case, would I have been allowed to dictate whether she got an abortion or not? Like I said in the very first video, I don't believe in it. It's just something I'm against. But does a man ever have a right to choose? I also had another woman that I dated at a different point in time, where it started off, she told me that she had performed oral sex on me while she was asleep, and then it came out later that she'd actually had sex with me a couple times while I was asleep. And that's shocking. That's shocking. In cases like that, and you don't ever hear about it because it's always focused on the woman, does a guy get to choose? I mean, in what scenario does a guy get to choose whether or not a woman has an abortion? And I don't mean by pressuring her, but actually saying, you did this, so I get to choose. I mean, it's not an easy conversation to have. And because of those two situations that I've faced in my life, and I want to generate conversation about this because it's a very nuanced subject, and it's always broken down to be either A or B. And it's not that way. From where I'm sitting in my chair in my apartment, it's not so cut and dry. We need to have a conversation about this. So that's pretty much all I have to say. I really want to hear other people's opinions. Sorry for saying So if you like what I had to say, leave me a thumbs up or a thumbs down below, depending on how you feel. Subscribe up or down if you're on mobile or, your desktop / laptop. And feel free to leave a comment. This is the video I want to talk about the most. The cases where it's very nuanced. Now, I do a lot of social commentary, and I look at things from a very socially driven point of view. However, if you want to get something that's more by the facts, go check out my buddy Antimatters, and I will try to get him linked in the box below. So, this is Garnet, the Inquisitive Veteran, Pop and Smoke.